Hi poetry lovers, welcome to my channel Bella Poetry Presents. Today we will discuss the third of the Lake poets besides William Wordsworth and Robert Southey, whose name was Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Samuel Taylor Coleridge was one of the great poets of the Romantic era in England. And before I start talking about him, I would like to show you his portrait. See, all three men were very handsome and very talented. So he's remembered not only for his imaginative poetry, but also for his powerful ideas about literature, philosophy, and the imagination. His poems are filled with mystery, nature, and the supernatural, and they continue to fascinate readers more than 200 years later. The personal life of Samuel Taylor Coleridge was often as dramatic and complicated as the poetry that he wrote. Although he was a brilliant poet and thinker, his life was filled with emotional struggles, difficult relationships, and health issues as well. Coleridge was born in 1772 in Ottery, St. Mary in England. His father, John Coleridge, was a respected schoolmaster and minister who loved books and learning, and he encouraged young Samuel to do the same. You have to take into account that Samuel was the youngest child of the 10 children that his family had. So he was a very dreamy and imaginative child, and he spent many hours reading stories, exploring nature, and thinking deeply about the world around him. After his father died, Samuel was only 9 years old at that time. His life became more difficult, and not just for him, but for the whole family. Coleridge was sent to study at Christ Hospital, a well-known boarding school in London. At school, he proved to be extremely intelligent. He loved literature, philosophy, languages such as especially Greek and Latin. Later, he attended Jesus College in Cambridge, but he struggled with finances and personal difficulties and did not complete his studies, his degree. In 1795, Coleridge married a woman whose name was Sarah Fricker. Their marriage, however, was not very happy. They had several children together, including Hartley Coleridge, who later became a poet himself. Coleridge often felt restless and unhappy in his marriage. He spent long periods away from his family while traveling, lecturing, and writing. Although he cared about his children, he struggled to maintain a stable family life. One of the most important relationships in Coleridge's life was friendship with William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, as I said, Robert Southey, and Coleridge were called the Lake poets because they all lived in the same area, which was called the Lake District. The two poets lived near each other for a time in the beautiful Lake District, where they spent hours walking, discussing poetry, and sharing ideas, and basically inspiring each other. The two men quickly became the close friends. They believed poetry would express deep feelings and celebrate the beauty of nature. And so they wrote poetry that definitely did that. Together they helped begin the Romantic movement in English literature, the Romantic movement that I so much admire. And in 1798, they published a groundbreaking book of poetry titled Lyrical Ballads. And I discussed it with you already when we talked about the life of William Wordsworth. This book changed the course of English poetry. Wordsworth wrote about ordinary life and nature, while Coleridge wrote mysterious poems filled with imagination and supernatural elements. During this time, Coleridge also formed a deep emotional attachment to Sarah Hutchinson. Sarah Hutchinson was the sister of Wordsworth's wife, and we already discussed this as well. Although their relationship was never fully realized, Coleridge wrote some very emotional and thoughtful poems inspired by his feelings for this woman. Coleridge suffered from chronic pain and health problems throughout his whole life. Doctors at the time often prescribed opium as a medicine to relieve pain. And we know that in 18th century, 19th century, many artists and poets and many people took opium as a way to fall asleep, not to feel pain, etc. And they became addicted to this. And even in some cases, the amount of opium that they took proved to be lethal, and some of them passed away. And the same thing happened to Coleridge. He became dependent on opium, and this addiction troubled him for many years. It affected his health, his productivity, and sometimes his relationship with family and friends. But despite his struggle, Coleridge remained a brilliant thinker and writer. In his later years, Coleridge found stability while living in the home of James Gilman in Highgate. Dr. Gilman helped Coleridge to manage his health and reduce his dependence on opium. During these years, Coleridge became a respected lecturer and philosopher. Many young writers and thinkers visited him to hear his ideas about poetry, imagination, and literature. But on July 25th, 1834, Samuel Taylor Coleridge died. His work, although, was never forgotten. Samuel Taylor Coleridge is remembered as one of the greatest poets of the Romantic age. His work helped shape modern poetry and inspired many writers who came after him. His poems remind us that imagination is one of the most powerful forces in human creativity. So today we will read a couple of his poems. The first poem is called Desire. I try to choose poems that are not particularly long because it's kind of a little tedious to read very long poetry. The first poem is called, as I said, Desire. Where true love burns desire is love's pure flame. It is the reflex of our earthly frame that takes its meaning from the nobler part and but translates the language of the heart. It's a typical romantic poem, and I love it. So the next one is called Work Without Hope. All nature seems at work. Slugs leave their affair, the bees are stirring, birds are on the wing, and winter slumbering in the open air wears on this smiling face a dream of spring. And I the while the sole unbusy thing, nor honey maker, nor pair, nor build, nor sing, yet well I can the banks where amaranths blow have traced the fount whence streams of nectar flow. Bloom, oh yeah, amaranths, bloom for whom you may. For me, your bloom not. Glide rich streams away. With lips unbrightened, breathless brow I stroll. And would you learn the spells that drowse my soul? Work without hope draws nectar in a sieve, and hope without an object cannot live. And the last poem is actually an epitaph for himself. Stop, Christian passer-by, stop, child of God, and read with gentle breast beneath this sod. A poet lies, or that which once seemed he. Oh, lift one thought in prayer for STC, which is obviously Samuel Taylor Coleridge, that he who many a year with toil of breath found death in life may here find life in death. Mercy for praise, to be together for fame, he asked, and hoped through Christ, do thou the same. I love this poem. It's really beautiful. And this line, that he who many a year with toil of breath found death in life may here find life in death, which basically a testimony to the fact that his life was not easy and that he suffered a lot. So here comes to the end our segment about Samuel Taylor Coleridge. I want to wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful week. And please don't forget to like and subscribe so I can bring you more segments about wonderful poets, and there are many of them. So enjoy your week. And don't forget to like and to subscribe. Bye.